Once you learn this simple VWAP strategy, you're not going to want to trade anything else, and you're going to see your trading transform by cutting out so many unnecessary losses. And like I said, it's a very simple strategy once you can learn how to identify the trend, get your entries as close to these VWAPs as possible, like I take on stream every morning, and let's go over it here. So we're going to look at the New York VWAP and the overnight VWAP. Now the most important one is the blue one, which is anchored from today's open, the New York. My full strategy is available down below on AceFX TV. It's absolutely free. So if you like what you see here and you want to learn more, definitely go check that out. Now, the trend, how I read it, is bullish because we're above this black daily VWAP from the overnight, right? So it's higher highs and higher lows. Buyers are in control. Any of the prices around here, that blue VWAP, is acceptable. I was a little late just seeing it confirm that buyers are going to hold it. They're holding it. Okay, great. Stop loss is very important. It needs to go at the bottom of the range at structure because this is our higher low that we're working off of. Anywhere between my entry and this bottom could be another higher low. Case in point, over here. So I want to allow that to come in and hold it if it wants to. If we're not going to be ready to move higher here like I think, and it takes a little bit more time, I could still be right because I have a good price at the VWAP. Now I actually add in, as I see this VWAP held again, broken back above the New York, okay, let's go trade the trend back higher. So that's just a glimpse into it. We'll go into plenty of examples here. You've got the strategy, you've put in the screen time, now you just need the capital behind you. Polar Prime is a futures prop firm that actually makes that simple. With a one-step challenge with no daily loss limit and no minimum trading days, and when you get paid, payouts are processed in less than an hour. Pass the challenge, get funded, and start trading with real backing behind you. Accounts start as low as $69, so make sure you use code ASFX or head to the link down below showing on screen to get the best discount and start trading today. So stop trading small, go get funded. Now let's get back into the video. Let's take a look at another one here. Later in the day, to keep things simple, I want my entries off of this VWAP. Nowhere up here is there an entry off of VWAP. There's potential entries, but there's potential losses if you find yourself on the short end of it when you finally decide to jump in on the longs, and that's when they're not ready to run anymore. They're all out, but you jumped in too high, hoping it had some more gas in the tank. Or if you could just be patient for the pullback, keep things simple on once we're holding this black daily VWAP, judging off of everything that's happened today, who's been more in control, buyers or sellers? I'd say buyers. So why would I think this goes lower? I probably wouldn't. So I have a pretty fair chance of making money if I get my entries close to the VWAP in the direction that we've been trending today, and you trade it back up for a little scalp. Is it the biggest trade ever? No, but it's pretty high probability when you're at the VWAPs on a clear trending day. Let's look at it on the very next day. We're above the black VWAP here. The black VWAP fed into the New York VWAP break here. You can make money on this first push, right? Look at the first push there. Now I can get into more detail on the opening range. I teach all that in my strategy. I would just suggest not chasing the first break of it, as well as don't trade before a side has been broken. So that's why I wouldn't take this one specifically, because we haven't broken out of a side yet. But it is a nice entry at the VWAP. Now it pulls back from our low back here. We make another higher low. All right, we're back above the blue VWAP again. We just pushed higher there last time. Let's do it again. Didn't work out today. Is it a bad entry price? Is it a bad stop loss? No, the trend is just pretty much non-existent. So that's not really up to me to know when it's just going to move sideways. I'm just trying to play good prices, and if trend continues like I think it wants to, I'll probably make money. The trend just didn't continue. So I take a small loss on this. You can see it comes back up here pretty close to entry. Just bailing on this sidewaysness. But I'm not really wrong, but I'm not in an ideal situation of trending longs, trending buyers, right? But the worst thing to do would be buy it up here, buy it up there, away from VWAP, because whether trend continued or not, you may not make money in that entry price. But you could even argue, since my entry price is so close to VWAP, I could have bagged some of it here and technically made money, even though the trend was terrible, but I had a good price at the VWAP. Let's look at another one here, shall we? When I went over the first break of the opening range, like I said, here's that first break. Now we have full alignment for sellers, right? Below the black VWAP and the New York in blue. Cool. So lower highs and lower lows. I'm looking for shorts, but Evan says the entries come off of the VWAP. This is not at the VWAP. This is left it, right? The money was to be made in that push. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. Wait for the pullback. Now we get the pullback. Sellers defend that blue VWAP. There's the entry that I want. I get a good stop loss, not at current structure, but at previous back here to the left. And like I said, all of my strategies are explained in detail on AceFX TV, so go find that there. And I'm just trading back down for the next leg of trend. Now, if you look at it again on this next markup, I traded it twice. Now look at all the money I left on the table, pretty much because I got out early, but I got out according to my plan, so it's fine. But you run the risk of selling it because it looks so bearish back here. Just sell it away from VWAP. Maybe you sell it there, fortunately on this day, and you get 3 minutes of push and you close it. Great. Do all days move that strong away from the VWAP? No. So do that 10 times out of 10. How many times do you get stuck in the pullback immediately? The equivalent of selling it here, right? You sold it off of nothing. It pulls back on you and you lose, just for it to ultimately come back down. Those are the worst trades, when you were right on the direction, but too eager or maybe even too late, and you make no money. Wait for it to come back to the VWAP. You're playing the retests, the pullbacks, the retests, whatever you want to call it. I'm looking for the lower high on a short and the higher low on a long. And these lower highs are formed off of the VWAP. So any of these are great entries. You can catch the first one, it's all right. The second one's great. The third one's great as well. Plenty of money to go around. You don't need to jump in far from VWAP unless you don't have an abundance mindset and you're fearful that it's never going to present again. Now let's go over this one. A loser, because yes, it will lose. We're above the black VWAP. Buyers are in control. Pretty simple, right? Above the blue VWAP. Buyers are also in control. So we break above it here. Why doesn't this just run to the top of range? Don't know. Trend wasn't bullish or didn't continue bullish. It was very bullish overnight. I think this is the day when we ripped in the Asia session that maybe the longs were too obvious. But I long it on the right side of VWAP so I could sleep at night with that first long. But look at the second one. What am I not on the right side of? And the right side of, I mean, I'm above it for longs. If we're below it, shorts are in control. I'm buying it underneath New York when sellers are in control. That's going to be a lower probability play. So I get steamrolled because there's no buyers. So I deserve this second loss. The first one's fine because had it continued bullish like it was pointing towards, I'd have full alignment. That's the level that I want. Beautiful day. The second one, very avoidable because you're not off of the VWAP. You're off of one of them, but not the New York, right? So make sure you're off the New York VWAP. And even when you do that, you're going to take losses, but probably more losses when you're not at the VWAP. Now let's look at this one. Another retest to the overnight VWAP. The reason I'm not chasing this short, if anyone's wondering, I don't know, is because it's not in trend. The trend is still up. We're still above this black VWAP. So until that's broken, buyers are in control. Any move down to me is just seen as a pullback to give me a better buy price. So we see the first break of the open range come in. Check that off the list, right? Retest the VWAP. Check that off. But I'm not going to buy it down here. I could want to, just like I wanted to buy it off of that black VWAP only down here, but there was no follow through. I could buy it down here off just the black VWAP. Yeah, it would have had follow through, but we just saw the other example when it absolutely did not. So pick your poison. So I'm better off waiting for the break above New York for that extra confirmation because that's the price that pays me the most. And then I trade it back up to previous structure. Notice how it's the same price I'm buying at here as these VWAP breaks. But what did I mention earlier, and you'll learn it fully in my strategy, my best trades come after the opening range has already broken aside. At this point in the day, from the open to this entry idea, there's no breaks out of the range. This is the first break, so now after that has happened, it's a little bit safer to play. Now let me trade the VWAP, right? But if you're in too early, you might get smoked. Now to keep things simple, when you zoom out on here, I had a short and a long on this day. But where's the price that pays? When we look back on the day of saying, yes, there's money to be made long, I guess anywhere, but where would it really have been nice to had a floating long on? The break above New York there, the retest from New York here, and this last retest at New York there, just to get the sharper pops, the stress-free pops, back into the highs, none of this slow chug higher lows, maybe off of nothing. Hopefully this keeps going higher. The lower the better at the VWAP, the better. So just keep things simple. In the moment, when you miss out on this bounce and you see it halfway up, you're like, I missed the entry. Let me just buy it up here and hope it keeps ripping. What happens is it pulls back down to the VWAP like you originally wanted, but you weren't patient enough and now you're kicking yourself because it's now moving higher, maybe without you, or you're already in it, but in so much drawdown, whatever. So hopefully you guys can get that abundance mindset, seeing how often this presents, and it's not overly complicated. Once you get a good read on the trend, we can take a look at one markup on the 15-minute in just a second before we wrap up. I mean, look at it here. I don't even think I need to explain this after all the markups we went over. A higher high comes in. I'm not chasing higher highs. I want the higher low for longs. So higher low is formed at the VWAP. Make the next higher high. I'm not chasing higher highs. Pull back to VWAP. Make the higher low. Trade for the next higher high. I want to be in the trade as it's making a higher high. I don't want to get in at the higher high because then I'll just get smoked a lot of the time, getting caught where all the amateurs are jumping in chasing breakouts, and the amateurs don't make money. So I don't want to be in the same trade as them. That much I do know. Now let's go over to today. Same thing. Real quick, we can go over. I'll have a video on this. The break back above New York VWAP after retesting the daily. No follow through. Trend just smoked us lower. But buyers were clearly in control overnight. So if this pulls back to VWAP and ends back higher, I'm going to want to be in that. So you're going to take losses. Just about how do you answer to these losses and where does your next trade come from and how do you look afterwards? Is it a minus $2,000 day or minus 200? Because we could live with the 200. Let's zoom it on out. The last thing before we wrap up is keep trend in mind. So in all the days when I was long it off the New York VWAP, it's because I could zoom out to the previous day and so far in that session of saying, yeah, the trend is pretty bullish, very bullish. So let me just keep on looking for longs until shorts are screaming at me. And they're probably not going to be screaming at you for quite some time. So be picky with it, stay flat or long. And on some days, obviously, depending on the trend that week, flat or short. But just know the overall bias of what's the more probable direction. Right now, it's probably longs. So let me lean long and get my entries at the New York VWAP when I have structure in my favor, all right? So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out the streams. Your first month is free. Go through the full strategy, tune into all the streams, watch the replays, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys on there.